Well, we may have said farewell to summer, but it looks like no one told Mother Nature. The Wolves' idyllic beachside home looking postcard perfect this afternoon as we ramp up a Super Saturday afternoon of football in the New South Wales NPL men's competition. It is round 4. It is the Wollongong Wolves playing host to the Central Coast Mariners. Pete Pryor with you this afternoon. Absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, wherever in the world you may be watching from. The Mariners hoping to, well, find their first points of the season here against a Wollongong side who have made a fairly fast start, undefeated after 3 rounds. The Mariners coming off the back of a hefty 4-1 defeat, but signs of improvement for this young academy side. The team news is in. There is a bit of it to get through, so let's take you through how each side starts ahead of kickoff here at WIN Stadium.
Welcome everyone to WIN Stadium. Wollongong, this round 4 clash. The NPL New South Wales.
Starting, of course, for the host this afternoon, Wollongong Wolves. In goal, number 1, Oliver Yates. Number 2, Harrison Pusnell. Number 4, Dylan Ryan. 5, Banri Kanazumi. Number 6, James Anagnostopoulos. Number 7, Woon Sup Sim. You can probably hear the ground announcer taking you through the lineups as well. So we may just take a brief pause here before we run through the rest of the lineups.
Coached by Warren Reed. Lineup for Central Coast Mariners tonight. Number 2, Luca Pecora. Number 3, Michael Paragalli. Number 4, Rocco Smith. Number 5, Ben Hewitt. Number 7, Aiden Mao. Number 8, their captain, Lucas Tecluna. Number 10, Arthur De Lima. Number 11, Jai Rose. 21, Mukinga Mupota. 24, Kai Schumacher. And number 30, Jack Wachowski.
Without further ado, we'll take you through the remaining lineup for Wollongong Wolves. Of course, 17, Marcus Beattie. 21, Nick Olsen. 24, Lockie Scott. 25, Alex Masciovecchio. And 77, Raphael Leai. On the bench for the Wolves this afternoon, of course, reserve goalkeeper 13, Daniel Solski. 3, Darcy Madden. 8, Seb Duarte. 10, Damon Gray. 15, Dax Kelly. And 29, Ben Diassen.
We'd like to thank our major sponsors of the Wollongong Wolves. MCR, Multi-Civil and Rail. Kia, Gateway, one of our new sponsors coming on board recently. Cyclist Sport Labs. CBN, Central Data Networks. IQ Checkpoint. Frankie's Auto Electric.
Starting for the Travellers this afternoon, and well, it is a bit of a travel, of course, from the Central Coast. It is the furthest road trip in the state's top flight from the Central Coast down to Wollongong. In goal, of course, number 30, Jack Wachowski. The 2, Luca Pecora. Number 3, Michael Paragalli will partner. Number 4, Rocco Smith at the heart of defence. 5, Ben Mewitt. 7, Ayok Mo. 8, and captain, Lucas Shikluna. 10, Arthur De Lima. 11, Jai Rose. 21, Muginga Mpota. And 24, Kai Schumacher. Right on cue, the whistle blows. And away we go here at WIN Stadium for round 4. As we said, it is a Super Saturday of football across the league. No fewer than 7 games taking place this Saturday. Last time these two sides met, it was an absolute ding-dong affair as Rose nods this one forward. Doesn't win the second ball though. Mpota, able to bring it under his spell eventually, finds Schumacher, and now Mo, Shikluna. De Lima. He's put a little bit too much spice on the pass. He's looking to turn it around the corner for Pecora. As we said last time these two sides met, it was back up at Plume Park on the Central Coast. The Wolves went 2 goals up before Arthur De Lima stole the show. And Arthur De Lima hat-trick on that day, giving the Coast a 3-2 victory at a crucial stage of the season as well. Could he be perhaps the key for the Coast today? It is Wollongong on the ball with Beattie though. All the way back to Usnell, the Canberra products. Now Kanazumi Switching the points of attack out to the left. Kanazumi will have it back. Happy to just keep their foot on the ball and stroke it around nicely here, the Wolves. Turned around the corner, the flick from Olsen. Who's having a profitable season indeed, of course, Nick Olsen. 3 goals in his first 3 games. Is Schumacher looking to release Rose in the half space. Mewett wanted it short and square. It's the right idea from Schumacher. Again, the pass just a little too heavy for Rose to latch onto. He was being closely monitored in any case by Marcus Beattie. It would have been touch and go to see who got there first. Yates will send it long downfield. Takes a touch off the head of Rocco Smith, who just stepped out of the line of defence there. It will run all the way through to Wachorski in the end. They will look to play their way out from the back here. Paragali, Schumacher, Smith. Passing lanes all blocked off seemingly. Very well organised, well drilled Wolves outfit. Hewitt's made a good looking run down this left channel. Blocked off quickly by Beattie though. Forced to go back and recycle through Paragali and Smith and Pecora. Scored last week, of course, Luca Pecora. And that's a 4-1 defeat at the hands of Blacktown City. Good touch from Paragali to find Mewett. Couldn't quite bring it under his spell though, the left fullback. Wound sub-sim, leaving it for Beattie. All the way back to Yates. Vecchio. Oh, Kanazumi's under some pressure. It's Aok Mo. It's a great save from Oliver Yates. Kanazumi just got himself tangled in knots there. Aok Mo unable to profit in the end. Strong save from the Wolves gloveman. And just like that, they turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye. The Mariners under some heavy pressure. It's Machio Vecchio able to dig it out and find a teammate in the form of Olsen. Twisting and turning on the edge of the area, Nicholas Olsen. Good looking ball as well in to find Lachlan Scott. The Mariners all stood statuesque, frozen, appealing for the offside, a flag which never came. Lachlan Scott just dragging his effort wide in the end, with the goal seemingly at his mercy. Both sides surviving early scares here in the opening 5 minutes. Hearts and mouths at both ends. Rocco Smith striding forwards, finding Schumacher. No Prayag Tapa in the centre of the park for the Mariners this afternoon. We'll try and bring you an update on that. He's not in the squad at all. Wachorski. Driven upfield by Wachorski. Good strength from Impota to hold off the defender. Again looking to release Rose, and again it's Beattie there first. Rose isn't giving up on it and he's won it back as well. Excellent tenacity on display from Jai Rose. Wants a return pass as well from Schumacher, who plays the safe option back to Paragali. Now Shikluna. Mo. Bit of a loose touch from Mo. Turned over in the middle of the park. It's Olsen. Able to evade 2 challenges very nicely indeed. That's good footwork from Nicholas Olsen, and then bundled off it late It could have been one of two fouls, actually. Lachlan Scott was also taken out in back play as well. Finally poised, opening 7 or so minutes here at Wynn Stadium. Free kick taken quickly. It's Olsen. Into the half space it goes, in the direction of Lachlan Scott. Stretching to reach it, just unable to bring it under his powers. As we said, the Mariners showed signs of improvement last week, but that's not a positive sign. A loose ball allowing Mascio Vecchio to stride forward now. Shikluna not shirking his defensive duties and wins it back for the Mariners. Pass is just ahead of Rose, though. Was trying to take control of the situation there. Lucas Shikluna did well, but only able to turn it into touch. Beattie resumes hostilities. Scott, good strength, rides 1, 2, 3, and 4 challenges. And the outside of the foot pass too, if you don't mind. Some player, Lachlan Scott, of course. Olsen lets it run for Scott, who looks for the return pass here as well. Pecora had to be alert and was. Had body position in front of Olsen. As the drums start to beat here at Wynn, the Wolf Den getting behind their side, looking to spur them on. We're in sub-sim, keeps it moving. Busnell. And Agmstopoulos. Just pausing, waiting support. Back with Kanazumi. Sim. Busnell. Beattie hugging the touchline. Mascio Vecchio now. Doesn't have the beating of Rose, and then somewhat agriculturally hauling Jai Rose to the deck. Mariners will have the free kick. As we were just saying earlier, Mariners showed signs of improvement in spite of the scoreline in round 3. That 4-1 defeat to Blacktown City. And it seems every time I say that, a pass goes astray. Jack Wachorski, the latest culprit or victim. Make of that what you will. Perhaps I should stop mentioning the Mariners' signs of improvement. The Wolves on the hunt, of course, to maintain their undefeated start to the season. Coming into this one off the back of a 0-0 draw with Sydney Olympic last week. We're in sub-sim, working the levers, launching it into the area. Flicked header as well. Turned around the corner. Dylan Ryan bundled off it. And just keeping Ben Mewett honest as well. Mewett's clearance straight into the legs of Dylan Ryan. Big Timber, the left fullback, forward from the back. Let's try and profit from the set piece. Goal kick taken short, as is the Mariners' usual modus operandi. Shikluna. Smith just keeps it moving, left it a little behind Pecora, but Pecora able to track back and retrieve. Smith, long and central, and Rose, rising highest. And Pota battling with Sim. And Agmstopoulos winning out. Leoi, he's got pace to burn. Paragali read the situation. Rafa Leoi, what a pickup he is for the Wolves as well. Pace, power, directness. Solomon Islands international, of course, and still only 21 years of age. Here is Lachlan Scott. Worked into the area. Olsen striding forwards, weaving through and then weaving his way into traffic. Rose emerges with it. De Lima tangling with Kanazumi. Wins it back off the legs of Kanazumi. Advantage played by the referee. Mewett. Good-looking return ball for De Lima. Mariners win the throw. Positive signs from the Mariners. Getting forward, De Lima just looking to really take the game on. Rose returning it to Ben Mewett. Avenue for the cross never really opened up for him. Rose eventually forced back to Paragali. And across the back it goes. Smith. Central now is Shikluna. Raking crossfield ball from Shikluna to try and open up the corridor for Mo, who's done ever so well to keep it in fairness. Couple of step overs from Mo, has the beating of the defender, pulled back into the area. It's offside. Well, we spoke about that man in the build-up to this one, Arthur De Lima. Thought he'd given his side the go-ahead goal, but the flag was up to deny De Lima delight. That will give the Mariners a real sense of confidence, though. Shikluna, a renewed sense of vigour perhaps here from the coast. Pecora. Mo. Running out of real estate. Lucas Villela on the bench for the Mariners. Head coach, of course. Prowling his technical area. Encouraged by those signs from his young side. Hearing the call from Lachlan Scott, I think, or it might have been Machio Vecchio there, just urging that the home side's transition has got to be better. Looking to play their way out this time. It's Woonsub Sim. Driven forwards in the direction of Scott. Paragali wins a physical battle. Shikluna and then Mo. Pecora. Shikluna unable to retain possession. Mewett's in a foot race with Machio Vecchio. Mewett's getting there first. Had a couple of yards head start. Certainly no slouch. And fantastic motor on Ben Mewett as well. Gets up and down the touchline. I'd love to see his final GPS stats, how many kilometres he actually clocks up during the course of a game, because like another former Mariners left back, Jacob Kresnar, now at Blacktown City, it just doesn't stop. He's making another run forward there as well. The ball never came to him. The Mariners opt to play it short, and it's left short now. It's Lachlan Scott who wins it back. Lei bursting into the area. Pecora marshalled it all the way. Well read by Pecora, and had to be alert, of course. We spoke about the danger that Rafael Lei poses. He's absolutely rapid. Scored 91 goals in 44 games in the Solomon Islands. Had a stint in Bosnia and Herzegovina as well. As well as Adelaide City in the South Australian National Premier League setup. Finds his way to the south coast of New South Wales here. Mo able to intercept, but unable to reel it in. Woonsub Sim taking it off the toe, and now Scott turning. Unable to really make the pass stick. Lei, though. Halfhouser howls for a penalty from the Wolves. Referee Thomas Dale waving them away, just explaining the situation as well to Nicholas Olsen, who maybe has a different interpretation of the situation. De Lima. Oh, it's a good turn, good footwork from the Mariners' number 10. Pecora overlapping, bursting forward, and a bit of space to operate in here on the right flank now. Pecora drives inside. Taken away by Kanazumi. who is in turn fouled by Pecora in his eagerness to win the ball back. Move breaks down. Yates again just sending it long into the evening sky here in Wollongong. Lachlan Scott pulling it down, and now long-range effort. It's audacious from Olsen. In the kind of form he's in, though, you wouldn't put it past him. As we said, 3 goals in 3 so far for Nicholas Olsen, including a brace in that 3-0 victory against St George in round 2. Pota, at first touch to control a ball that was really fizzed at him at chest height. Again, the Mariners forced backwards though, and across the back once more it goes. Pecora, Schumacher. We can bring you updates from elsewhere as well. As we said, 7 games in the New South Wales NPL competition throughout the course of your Super Saturday. Shikluna, Rose taken off his toe in the centre circle. Leai bursting into the area. Leai, good save. Wachorski made himself big. Leai drove it in low, straight into the body of Wachorski. Keeps his goal intact for now anyway. Driving into the area was Scott. Couldn't quite stick the pass to Leai. Mariners survive again. If you don't want spoilers in the other games, block your ears now, of course. In the earlier games, kicking off this afternoon, just about an hour or so gone at Sydney United Sports Centre. Sydney United leading over fellow academy side, the Wanderers, by 1-0. As this one goes into the half space, picked out effectively by Beattie. We'll get the return pass as well. Wound sub Sim now. Rose looking to keep him honest. Beattie. Well played out by the Wolves. Now striding forward, Mascio Vecchio. Scott looking to return the ball to Mascio Vecchio, but it's Beattie who picks up on the pass. Beattie stands it up towards the back stick. Arriving late is Olsen, who had a bit of a job on his hands to keep it in play. Olsen able to deliver the cross, but straight at Luca Pecora. I'll get a chance to go again here. Leai from the edge of the area. Leai, good diving save from Jack Wachorski. I fancy it took a touch on the way through as well. Wachorski plunging sharply low to his right to turn it around the corner. Will be a Wolves corner. I think it's their first of the afternoon, if my calculations are correct. Shouldn't be something that takes much calculating in any case, but Nick Olsen across to take. Looks to swing it away from the goalkeeper towards a penalty spot. Diving header from Schumacher. Fizzed effort by Leai into a crowd of bodies. Sim able to stand it up to the back post again as well. Olsen maybe thought about the shot, instead laid it off to Scott. Mewett has had enough of that and puts his foot through it. Well, last time at this venue, of course, Mariners, for their sake, hopefully they've learnt how deadly the Wolves can be from set pieces. Kanazumi was having a field day against the Mariners last time at Wynn Stadium. Such a physical presence. Physical presence is all over the pitch, of course. Dylan Ryan, Kanazumi, as I said, Scott as well. They were able to deal with that corner on that occasion, though. Now Mewett striding over halfway. Schumacher back over halfway into their defensive half with Paragali and Smith. Pecora. Rose, who's seemingly switched flanks and He's gone around his opponent there as well. Now Mpota looking to cut it back to De Lima. Just tried to hook his shot around the corner. Kanazumi able to affect the block in the end, and Wolves in transition can be rapid. It's Nick Olsen. It's Leai who's also seemingly switched flanks. Ayok Mo tracking back to great effect just as Leai look to release their teammates. A decent tempo to this one, that's for sure. In spite of what we said was a sizzling Saturday afternoon. Temperatures reaching around about 35 degrees at one point. It's certainly dropped off since then as the sun slowly sets behind us here at WIN Stadium. Decent little bit of sea breeze as well. I'll look to bring you some other updates from around the grounds as well. At Popondetta Park, it's one apiece between Mount Druitt and Rockdale, and there's just been a red card about 15 minutes ago as well. Massarola sent off for Mount Druitt, who will have to play the final 20 or so minutes with just 10. Leai rising. Lachlan Scott returning it to Leai as well. Leai pulls it back across the face. It is the opener. It's been coming. Mascio Vecchio, what about the celebration? Well worked by the Wolves, who go ahead inside 24 minutes here at WIN Stadium. Mascio Vecchio's first of the season. But it's the industry of Rafael Leai, the pace of the Wolves flyer. And he rightly earns his fair share of the plaudits as well. We just spoke about how much of a sizzling afternoon it's been. That certainly heated things up here. Very healthy crowd here at WIN Stadium just below us as well. Going absolutely wild. As well they might. Where to from here? We can bring you an update from Christie Park or the Arctic Circle as well. Half-time in that one. Spirit FC, who are absolutely flying this season, currently lead St George City by a goal to nil there as well. Spirit FC, top of the table, a perfect start. As it stands, 4 from 4. And as it stands, the Wolves seemingly able to maintain their undefeated start to the season. A lot of football yet to be played in this one, though. Swung in towards the back stick. Mo nodding it back. It was on top of him before he knew it. As well, Ayok Mo couldn't quite get the direction required on the header. You could see what he was trying to do, searching for that far top corner. Oliver Yates happy to watch it sail over the bar in the end. Oliver Yates once again sending all the short options forward. I don't think he's taken a short goal kick so far today. Nicholas Olsen now looking to double the Wolves' advantage. Winding up. Olsen! Oh! What a strike! Nicholas Olsen has 4 from 4. And that is certainly just about the pick of the bunch.
Another great goal for the new father. Nicholas Olsen, number 21, taking the Wollongong Wolves to a 2-0 lead.
Recently celebrating the birth of his child, Nicholas Olsen, and the rest of the team now coming up to celebrate that with him as well. The Rock the Baby celebration, and that certainly rocked the house here at WIN Stadium. 10 for the season. Last season, of course, from Nicholas Olsen. He's nearly already halved that tally, and we're not even through round 4 yet. Just like that, the Wolves go bang, bang. 2 in the space of 2 minutes. Mewett for the Mariners, now back with Paragali. It's a cruel game, football. That is a cruel blow to the coast indeed. Ayok Mo stretching to try and retrieve this one. He's now across to play covering defender. Mariners certainly weren't without their chances in the opening exchanges. Goal disallowed as well, of course. They might just have a chance from the set piece here as well. Ayok Mo dragged down. Leoi coming over to apologise, offering a hand of apology as well to his teammates. No Bailey Browntman, of course, today for the Mariners. Lucas Shikluna will take the set piece. Bailey Browntman on A-League duty last night. As was another Mariners former academy product, Nico Duarte, his brother Seb Duarte on the bench today for Wollongong. What's the delivery like here from Shikluna? Fizzed in, straight into the arms of the awaiting Oliver Yates. Good looking release as well, this from Yates. Olsen, the latest goal scorer. Just holds it up, awaiting some support. Unable to find it in the end. Jai Rose picks the pocket of Nicholas Olsen. Slide rule ball in behind here for Arthur DeLima. DeLima pulls it back and there's no one arriving. Mo eventually gets there. Ayok Mo! 2-1. Well. After a goalless opening 24 minutes, in the space of 5 minutes, we've seen 3. The Coast halve the deficit. Ayok Mo opens his account for the season. His first goal in yellow and navy as well since his move up the F3. And the Coast, well, there's certainly life left in this one. You'd certainly hope so, because we've still got over an hour of football yet to play. Kanazumi. Anagnosopoulos. My apologies, of course, that was Dylan Ryan. Forced long was Busnell. He was looking for Lachlan Scott, but just sails into touch on the near touch line here at Wynn Stadium. Well, if you're just joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube channels, absolute pleasure to have your company. Pete Pryor coming to you live from Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. And if you're just tuning in, well, you've tuned in about 5 minutes too late. Goals to Alex Macchio-Vecchio and Nicholas Olsen just a moment ago. Ayok Mo pulled one back for the Mariners. Here's Mpota. Twisting and turning and weaving his way through the byline, Mpota. And running out of room. Couldn't wriggle his way through. Good strength on display again from Busnell. Himself has been a great acquisition, of course, for Wollongong. After making the move up from our nation's capital, Tuggeranong product. And did score in this fixture last season as well. Scored the opener, of course. We spoke about the Mariners' defensive frailties on that day. That was one of a few that came from a corner. Pecora is opposite number 2. Jai Rose is just dragged down there. Dylan Ryan, the offending party, and Roses remains stricken on the turf. It did look a fairly heavy landing from the Mariners' number 11. He's back to his feet, albeit slowly and gingerly. No running repairs required. Back underway, Mewett, Mo. Looking to get at Lei and then fizzes one into the feet of DeLima. Stepping in to control the situation was Woon Sub Sim and then Beatty. And now wide with Lei. Back with Beatty. The Mariners look to press and then all the way back to Yates. Kanazumi, Ryan. Woon Sub Sim into the half space and straight at the feet of Pecora, who fired one forward to Mpoto. Looked to just play the bounce pass there off to DeLima. Couldn't quite stick it though. Dragged down on halfway. Macchio Vecchio and Shikluna tangling. The Coast eager to keep things moving. Opening half an hour or so has been played at a fantastic tempo from both sides, in all fairness. Raking crossfield ball towards Mo. Has the first touch from Ayok Mo. Now Mewett didn't quite have the first touch to match that of Ayok Mo. Again, it's a physical tussle between Paragali and Scott. Referee just awaiting to see if any advantage would accrue. It didn't. Paragali was indeed all over Lachlan Scott like a cheap suit. Perhaps a foul had to be made though. Lachlan Scott, one of many for this Wolves side who's absolutely lethal. 10 goals last time, or last season I should say, from Lachlan Scott. Here's Olsen. Lei, bouncing ball, difficult to get the shot away. Lei wants a corner. Is absolutely adamant that should be a corner. Warren Grieve also making his feelings very clearly known on the touchline. Just a goal kick at the end of it. As we said, Lachlan Scott, who was fouled by Paragali just moments ago. Wollongong product himself, of course. Dons the armband as well. Some A-League experience with the Wanderers before moving back to Wollongong in 2019. He's offering the short option here and doesn't quite sit for him. Rocco Smith stealing in just in time from the Mariners' perspective. Jai Rose trying to weave around Macchio Vecchio. Macchio Vecchio able to just get a toe in there. Prod it between the legs of Rose, out into touch for a Mariners throw-in. Well, the Mariners are so nearly playing their way into trouble once again. Shikluna stepping in ahead of Woon Sub Sim, who concedes the free kick just inside the centre circle there as well. Pleads his innocence. Looked like he did just take away the legs of Shikluna as he looked to burst forward centrally. Pecora, unhappy with the options presented in front. Smith, Schumacher. An also familiar pattern of play from the Mariners. Swung wide now for Mewett. Shikluna. Twisting, turning, linking with Mo. Mo unable to progress it any further, and the Wolves now moving at impressive ball speed here. It's pass after pass after pass in tight areas. Just going back and recycling through Uznell and Kanazumi. Opening up another avenue here with Macchio Vecchio. Sliding challenge from Shikluna. Final touch off the legs of Macchio Vecchio as well. So throw in going in favour of the Mariners. Shikluna, who's gotten through a mountain of work in the opening 36 minutes in the engine room for the Mariners. Leading by example, the captain. dinked in over the top in the direction of DeLima. It's trying to run all the way through for Oliver Yates in the end. Who this time plays short. Kanazumi and Agnostopoulos. Ryan clipping one forwards towards that man, Lachlan Scott. Tight tussle. Schumacher eventually stealing back to take it off the toe of Scott, but not before the whistle goes. Free kick in favour of the Wolves. Luca Pecora was all over Lachlan Scott, who definitely has the size advantage there, the Wolves front man. It's left a little bit short of Olsen though. Mo stealing in, looking to win the second ball and the third perhaps as well. How's a physical contest between he and Busnell? And now the Wolves on the charge, on the prowl. And Lachlan Scott drawing a very, very good save once again from Jack Wachowski. From that sort of position, from that sort of range, with that man in front of goal, you expect to see the net bulge. Jack Wachowski again plunging low, this time to his left, turning it behind. At full stretch as well. Olsen across to take. Variation on the corner. Olsen will have it back. Goes around Pecora. Clipped in towards the back post this time. Rising again was Scott, but didn't get the purchase required on the header. The Mariners survive another set piece. Later tonight, of course, Marconi Stallions playing host to St George at the Palace, and Sutherland playing host to Sydney Olympic to round out your fixtures. I did say 7 fixtures being played today, but my maths apparently was grossly incorrect. It's just the 6. So slightly less Super Saturday, but still Super nonetheless. Wachowski. Paragali was under immense pressure. I played it back to Wachowski, who launches it forwards. In no mood to play out from the back on that occasion, as he may be well counselled to not to do under the press of Nicholas Olsen. Mashio Vecchio on the far touchline though now. Lachlan Scott. Good toe in from Mpota. DeLima. Well, he spotted Yates off his line, and I thought for a moment there he did look to wind up the shot. Instead, looked to play one in behind for Dry Rose. Too far ahead of the Mariners flyer, though. Five or so minutes to go until the interval here at Wynn Stadium. We hear the announcement for the oh-so-famous Wolf Chase here at Wynn Stadium. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing that at halftime myself. Striding forward now, though, is Olsen, bursting into the area. Olsen blocked off by Paragali as well, just as Olsen pulled the trigger. That would have been impressive. Olsen really taking the game on there. Carried forward from his own half. Scored an absolute belter earlier in the half, of course. Did Nicholas Olsen. Fired into the bottom corner, the bottom left corner of Jack Wachowski's goal from all of about 25 yards, adding to his already impressive highlights reel. Meanwhile, though, here's Ben Mewett for the Mariners. Looks to reverse it into the area for Mpota, who was effectively marshalled by Busnell, who was happy to watch it all the way through to the Wolves custodian in Yates. Ryan. Driven forward towards Scott, who just rolls away from the challenge of Smith and links up with Lei, who's got a couple of yards of space here. Lei now into the area, twisting, turning, trying to fashion an opening here. Driven straight into the legs of Ben Mewett, though. Mpota dropping deep. Woon Sub Sim paying him very close attention indeed. Mariners able to just calm it down. Smith looks to release Pecora on the far touchline and does so. Pecora sliding one into the half space for Arthur De Lima. A couple arriving as well. De Lima. It's his turn to try and create a couple of yards of space to fashion the cross. Goes short instead for Rose. Just ran away from Jai Rose, though, at the crucial moment. Wollongong, we know how dangerous they are in transition. So rapid. Lei, speaking of rapid, he is exactly that, and it's a very good sliding challenge to halt any further progress from Raphael Lei. And it's the Mariners' turn to try and transition rapidly. De Lima into the area. Arthur De Lima blocked by Woon Sub Sim. That looked destined for the top corner from Arthur De Lima. It looked very good off the boot indeed. A block that absolutely needed to be made. By the South Korean midfielder there, of course. The sprightly age of 35 years old. New signing for the season. Has been a good pickup indeed for the Wolves. Shikluna across to take the resulting corner. In-swinging delivery right on top of Yates, who gets a good fist to it. Rose pulls the trigger. Headed back in by Smith in the direction of Mpota. It's chaos. There's bodies falling about everywhere. Eventually, the whistle goes to just release that pressure valve that was certainly about to burst. As we wait to see what the verdict is on added time here. Woon Sub Sim is back to his feet. As Yates once again sends it forward towards that southern end of the ground. Here's Rafa Lei. Lei from distance just dragged it. Offers a gesture of apology to his teammates and his coaching staff as well. He's well within his rights to go from goal. Go for goal from there, of course, Rafa Lei, who was instrumental in the Wolves opener. As the board does go up, 2 minutes of time to be added at the end of the first stanza here in Wollongong. We're through the regulation first 45. What a bright opening 45 it's been as well, from both sides in fairness. Good looking ball in behind here as well. The flag is up on the far touch line. Pecora burst forwards. Pass just came a fraction of a second late. As we said, Luca Pecora scored last week for the Mariners. His first goal in yellow and navy, of course, since making the move up from the Bulls Academy. And another first-time goal scorer today, Aok Mo. Here is Mo. Back with Mewett. Driven forward by Mewett, but not close enough to a teammate. It was really between Mpota and De Lima, and then Mpota taking the legs away from Busnell. Just slowing the game down. Ball's in no real sort of hurry to send this one forward. Keeping plenty behind the ball here as well. Olsen will eventually clip it towards the top of the box. Rocco Smith rising, relatively comfortable. De Lima trying to bring it down. Yates. De Lima didn't give up on it. He chased it all the way through to Yates, who sent it forward with aplomb. Or with interest, I should say. Wachorski opting for the short option, and Shikluna. Now Pecora. Clipped in behind for Mpota. That would have been tight for offside, I fancy. All the way through to Oliver Yates as we tick through that final few seconds of stoppage time. The referee says that is all she wrote for a very entertaining opening half here at Wynn Stadium. Goals to Alex Masciovecchio and an absolute peach from Nicholas Olsen gave the Wolves a 2-0 advantage. Ayok Mo was able to pull one back for the Coast, leaving this one oh so finely poised for the second half. Don't go anywhere. Make sure that you do join us for that second half in about 15 or so minutes' time. Well, a very warm welcome back to Wynn Stadium here in Wollongong. This idyllic beachside stadium, of course, providing such a gorgeous backdrop as the Wolves at their home venue looking to maintain their undefeated start to the season. Currently leading fellow coastal-based side, the Central Coast Mariners Academy, by 2-1. All 3 goals coming in the space of about 5 minutes. Alex Masciovecchio opened the scoring. It was quickly 2-0 in the space of 2 minutes. Nicholas Olsen with an absolute peach from range before Aok Mo just a couple of minutes later halved the deficit and left this one oh so perfectly poised ahead of the second half. The whistle blows and away we go for the second stanza here in the Gong. Pecora back to Washorski. Under some pressure from Leo. Just plays short to Smith and Paragali. Just casting my eye across both sets of, or both sides, I should say, both sets of players. Doesn't look like any changes at half-time for either side as Pecora, again, looking to play one into that channel there, but easily cut out by Ryan. Rose will have it back for the Mariners, though. Shifting onto his right, trying to go around the outsides of Anagnostopoulos. Unable to advance any further, though. Wound sub-sim just calming things down. Flipped in towards Olsen, who feels some contact in the back there. Went down a little theatrically, in all fairness, under the challenge of Paragali. Schumacher, immediately pressed by his opposite, number 24 in Lachlan Scott. Work it across to the right-hand side now with Pecora, trying to link up with Rose, who was really hugging the touchline and running out of room in the end. Again, the Mariners playing their way out of the back, and Schumacher now carrying it forwards. Mewett doesn't have the beating of Beattie. Beattie just creeping forward, stealing a few yards from the throw-in. Possession thrown away, though. Drive Rose unable to retain it. Rocco Smith left a little short of Shikluna, though, allowing the Wolves to steal in, and here comes Olsen again. Rocco Smith with a good-looking challenge. Pecora then brings Leo down, and oof, it's not far away from Anagnostopoulos. Flashing just wide of Jack Washorski's right upright. Just a sighter from the Wolves' number 6 there. Of course, James Anagnostopoulos, a former Wolves junior, returning this year after a stint in the Illawarra Premier League. Looking to make that central midfield role his own alongside Wound Sub-Sim. Here he is. Now Ryan. Little layoff there from the 24 in Scots for Ryan. Arriving is Masciovecchio. Washorski stepping in to take control, plunging on the ball just ahead of the feet of the on-rushing Masciovecchio. Masciovecchio keeping Mewett honest. Here's Shikluna. Nearly ran away from him. Rose. Little clipped ball wide for De Lima. who had a goal disallowed in the first half. Plays a 1-2 off the body of Anagnosopoulos there. Not sure how much intent was behind it, but whatever works for you. Paragali. And Pota giving chase to this one. He'll get there ahead of Busnell as well. A couple of little step overs from Mpota. Now Muirtud remain forward in support, and Mo. Little passage this from the Mariners. Mo weaving into the area, pulled back in towards De Lima. Good sliding challenge to deny. Now Shakluna. Flag is up. Ball is in the back of the net. Mo probably realised before the ball even crossed the line. The Mariners again denied by the offside flag. Rightly so. No second goal of the afternoon on that occasion anyway for Ayok Mo. As the drums start beating in the background again, the Wolf Den looking to spur on their charges, spur on their side. Smith, who's touched tight and had a bit of a fistful of Lachlan Scott's shirt there as well, and may have just talked his way into the book as well. Rocco Smith. Maybe just a ticking off from referee Thomas Dale. Just a ticking off indeed. It's been a fantastic, intriguing physical contest between Rocco Smith and Lachlan Scott so far. Both fierce competitors. It is Lachlan Scott who's won the free kick. Olsen and Sim standing over it. Olsen, the left-footed option, rolls it into the path of Lachlan Scott, who's dragged down. Contact not enough for the referee's liking. It was only half-hearted appeals for a penalty in any case. Sim will return it all the way to his gloveman, Yates, who looks to fizz one out wide here for Olsen. Great bit of distribution that from the Wolves goalkeeper. Olsen. Leai measuring the cross. Didn't quite get the measurements correct though. Ayok Mo for the Mariners now. Shakluna, Rose operating on the right-hand side and has his legs taken away from him by Dylan Ryan. Pecora, eager to get things underway quickly. Paragali, pressed by Olsen. Did well to hold off the challenge, but the challenge has forced the ball into touch. Paragali just trying to clip it out to his right fullback in Pecora. Only succeeding in clipping it over the touchline. Ryan to get us back underway into the path of Olsen, who's shoved off it rather unceremoniously by Paragali. I'm not too sure why he's pleading his innocence there. It looked fairly cut and dried from my vantage point. Two-handed shove on Nicholas Olsen, who's perhaps asking for a little bit more than just a free kick as well. But in any case, he has got a free kick and a fascinating sort of position. Certainly not beyond his capabilities. We saw him score from about 25 yards in the first half. I fancy he might fancy his chances here as well. Certainly has enough room to get it up and down over the wall, which Jack Wachowski is currently building. Just 3 in it. Mind you, Sim, we're in sub-Sim, of course, is also standing over this one as the right-footed option. It will be Sim. Does go direct for goal. It's absolutely cannoned into a couple of players on the way through, one of whom was Ayok Mo. Final touch off a Wolves player, though, and behind for just a goal kick. Rocco Smith with a little chop, but he's needlessly turned it over. It's Nicholas Olsen. who fizzes one into the back post. No one arriving. Just overcooked the cross somewhat there, did Olsen. In fairness, it was a task and a half to keep it in play. Did ever so well just to manage that. The Mariners now trying to set sail upfield. And again, it's that final ball into the final third that's lacking. Is Scott and Smith tangling once again. What a battle this is between those two. This time it's Scott who concedes the free kick. Paragali clipping one forward. Rose with a little layoff for DeLima. The flag's up again. And a couple of little afters here between DeLima and Dylan Ryan. It seems needless. Still a couple of words being exchanged between those two as well. There's someone I personally probably wouldn't want to tangle with is Dylan Ryan. Absolute mountain of a man, the Wolves fullback. Arthur DeLima certainly not one to shy away from the challenge. Busnell. Again going long. Again Paragali first on scene. Now Shikluna. Well, unable to turn under the pressure from the Wolves midfielder and Agnostopoulos. All the way back to Washorski. Now Paragali trying to unlock that left-hand side of the field. The Mariners are going to ready a change here. First one to go to their bench is Lucas Valela. It will be Kai Schumacher who takes his leave for the afternoon. He's been replaced by Lawrence Taylor, who continues his impressive run in the first grade setup. Of course, scored against Apia in round 2. His debut first grade goal, on starting debut as well. And he looks a prospect indeed. Came on last week against Blacktown as well. Gave a really good injection of energy and pace and real impetus going forward as well. The Mariners are now on the march and Shikluna is absolutely thundered into. He stayed down here as well, Lucas Shikluna. The card is out for Banri Kanazumi, who himself is a very, very physical competitor. Lucas Shikluna back to his feet, perhaps a little groggily, as might be expected after a challenge from someone like Banri Kanazumi. Free kick for the Mariners. Shikluna will leave this one for DeLima to take. Paragali's forward and Poacher's another option. Rocco Smith is forward as well. DeLima to look to swing it away. It's chaos in the box and the whistle goes after a shove from Rocco Smith. He's already had a ticking off from the referee, who did warn him just a matter of minutes ago, and he was on his absolute final last chance of the game. And a bit of a needless shove in the area sees him go into the referee's notebook. So one apiece on the yellow card scoreboard anyway. Banri Kanazumi and Rocco Smith earning yellow tickets in the space of a couple of minutes. Pecora winning it in the air ahead of Lehigh, who's stayed down on the turf, and the Mariners aren't too happy that referee Thomas Dale has seen fit to stop or halt play. Thomas Dale just checking on the well-being of Raphael Lehigh, thinking it may have been a head injury, so he is well within his rights to call proceedings to a halt. The Mariners were on the charge forward though And that's why they are a little disappointed. Mariners have it back via drop ball, and they've turned it over immediately. Wound sub sim finding Olsen. Shikluna stepping in to great effect, though, to win it back for the Mariners. And dragged down is Ayok Mo by Olsen. Mo stayed down here as well. Olsen wants him to get on with it. Helping Mo to his feet, who rather hobbles away somewhat. The Mariners may look to be going to their bench again shortly. Head coach Lucas Valela in close consultation with his assistant coaches down there as well. Mariners, as we said, still searching for their first point of the season. They've given a good account of themselves today. But they do still find themselves behind on the scoreboard with about half an hour or so remaining here in Wollongong. Long ball in behind for Leai, who gets there ahead of Pecora. Rafael Leai back across. Goal it goes. And a crucial intervention once again from Rocco Smith. It had to be. Now De Lima is harassed and harried, pressured by Nicholas Olsen. Rocco Smith coming across to provide support. Wins the throw in off the legs of Nicholas Olsen as well. Well, in the earlier under-20s contest, the Mariners did get the better of their host this afternoon, Wollongong. Max Miller scoring in the 53rd minute for the Central Coast Mariners Academy. In first grade, though, the Wolves with that solitary goal advantage and looking to hoist it forward once more until Shikluna stepped in. Now Taylor finding Rose in a very roundabout sort of way, and Rose will look to go through the gears perhaps here. Stepping across is Kanazumi. Rose, good strength to retain it. Now Shikluna. Smith, or Scott I should say, dropping in to do some dirty work. Now Pecora. Rafael Leai, good challenge, good strength to win it back. The tempo just seemingly going up a bit of a notch here. Rocco Smith hooks it over his shoulder. And Agnostopoulos sending it back into the sky. It goes all the way back to Oliver Yates in the end. They're going to have a fascinating final 28 or so minutes here at WIN Stadium. If you're just tuning in, Pete Pryor with you. Absolute pleasure as always to have your company. Wollongong, as you can see on the scoreboard, with that 2-1 advantage, courtesy of Alex Maschio-Vecchio and Nick Olsen. Ayok Mo pulling one back for the coast. Rose just ran away from him there, allowing Ryan to step in, who's continued his foray forward from fullback, but his opposite, number 4, Rocco Smith, was having a decent day out, stepping in there to take control of it. De Lima throws it back in for Mpota. Trying to get around the outside of Busnell and then put himself under a bit of pressure to try and keep it in play. Mariners will have another throw, though. Forced to go back and just recycle, try and reload. Paragali, now Mewett. Shikluna. Paragali. Again, not happy with the options in front of him. Going square to Smith, who just invites the press here of Scott and then looks to stride around the outside of him. I think he might have lost a shin pad on the way through, or it might have just been a bit of sock tape. In any case, Scott, ever so well to roll around the challenge. And then not the pass to match from the Wollongong local. It does look like Lucas Villela is readying another change on this near touchline. I fancy it might be Logan Sandbrook coming on for the Mariners. Another recent acquisition. Bring you an update there very shortly as Taylor able to force the turnover from Machio Vecchio into Mo, but Beattie stepping in to take it off the toe of Ayok Mo. In fact, I fancy it might be a double change from Lucas Villela. Harper Riles also being stripped and readied for action as well. Pecora. Shikluna. Jai Rose awaiting the run from De Lima and just again overcooking that final pass. Here are those changes for the Mariners as well. That will be Jai Rose's final action. Logan Sandbrook on in place of Jai Rose. Joey's forward, of course, Logan Sandbrook.
21, Botta making way for number 39, Harper Riles.
And Poe to the other one to take his leave. Harper Riles will make his way on up top. Logan Sandbrook recently turning just 17 years old. About 6 weeks ago. Has very big raps on him indeed. Yates again sending all the long options, or all the short options long, I should say. Again, it's a battle between Lachlan Scott and Rocco Smith, and Luca Pecora just got himself tangled for a moment there. Machio Vecchio able to step in and take it off his toe, but couldn't progress any further. Harper Riles, as we said, the other introduction, Australian schoolboy international. Came through the same age group in the academy as the likes of Hayne Eames, whose rapid rise through the ranks has seen him really start to bed down a starting position in the heart of that midfield for the Mariners senior side. And that's what these academies are really about, as this one goes again long in the direction of De Lima. Not proving fruitful for the Mariners, though. Dylan Ryan howling for it on this near touch line. Oliver Yates in no real sort of hurry to take the goal kick. Eventually does get us back underway in the direction of Ryan. Straight into touch. De Lima. Pecora. Aware that Lachlan Scott was on rushing. Played it around the corner for Paragali. Mewitz running out of real estate on the far touch line. Still 2 changes available for Lucas Villela. Jesse Mantell is an intriguing option as well. Angus Reid, of course, a solid defensive option if that yellow card to Rocco Smith does become a worry. But it will be Warren Grieve who's next to his bench. Darcy Madden is ready to enter the fray. And Nick Olsen, the new father, takes his leave after a sparkling performance.
Number 21, Nicholas Olsen, making way for number 3.
industrious, busy as always from Nicholas Olsen, who gets a rapturous ovation from the Wolves faithful, as well he might. Got the goal that his performance so richly deserved as well. One that I'm sure will be replayed time after time, adding to his ever-growing highlights reel. Dylan Ryan. Unable to link up with Mascio Vecchio. Pecora stepping in, dinked in towards Riles. DeLima. Couldn't quite find Mo. Rising is Shikluna. Sandbrook. Good strength from Sandbrook here. This is a great battle. Pecora swings in the cross. Comes back out for Sandbrook. Now Lawrence Taylor thought about the shots. Tried to weave his way through and draws a free kick right on the edge of the area. He's a tricky customer, of course, Lawrence Taylor. Yellow card as well has been brandished. Darcy Madden's first contribution to the game is to go into the referee's notebook. And he's going to take some stopping, was Lawrence Taylor. That's one way to do it, but perhaps not Oliver Yates' preferred way, as he's now got a wall to build. 5 in it. This is a fascinating sort of range for Arthur DeLima. Will it be DeLima for the Mariners? Flashing over the crossbar in the end. Didn't get the up and down. Certainly got the up. Denied once again is DeLima. Just rather scooped it, did DeLima, rather than going for power. Sandbrook, again, good strength, but Mascio Vecchio gets there ahead of Pecora. Pecora with a good-looking sliding challenge, but Mascio Vecchio able to retain it. Taken away from Scott. Paragali forced back to Ashorski. Across the back it goes with Mewett. Shikluna let it run. It's turned into touch on the far touchline. Maybe a bit of rotation in this front third from the Mariners as well. We'll bring you an update on that in just a moment. Well, we'll actually bring you an update on that now. It looks like Arthur DeLima has moved out to this near touchline. Logan Sandbrook perhaps playing more centrally. Harper Riles now leading the line since the departure of Mpota. DeLima rolls the challenge of Ryan, has his heels clipped on the way through. Not enough contact for the referee's liking though. Smith rising over the head of Pecora. Or Paragali, I should say. My apologies. Dylan Ryan with the little fake from the throw-in. Little feint. Soaking up a few more seconds, much to Lucas Valela's chagrin. Eventually the referee urges Dylan Ryan to get on with it. Julie obliges. And Wachowski forced into a rather hurried clearance. Works out in a roundabout sort of way for Mewitz. And now Mo. And now Shikluna, who keeps it moving for DeLima. Sandbrook. One touch to bring it under his spell. Second touch to cross straight into the legs of Kanazumi, but the Mariners will have a corner. We'll take this opportunity to bring you some updates from elsewhere. The Sydney United Sports Centre finished 2-0 in favour of Sydney United over the Wanderers Academy. Meanwhile, we've got a player down in back play as well. Raphael Leai has stayed down, and it looks like a touch of cramp perhaps for the Solomon Islands flyer. Well, he's calling for the physio as well, maybe just for the pickle juice. Let's hope that's all it is. Who's been so lively today. He was the architect for the first goal, of course, Raphael Leai. As we said, still just 21 years old. He is an absolutely precocious talent, and by all accounts has gone from strength to strength. We're only 4 rounds into the season. I'm told his improvement has been out of sight. Scary to think how high his ceiling could be. Warren Grieve will be going to his bench once again. Damon Gray is stripped and ready for action. I fancy that might be the change for Raphael Leai. Is indeed Raphael Leai. It's a bridge too far for him to continue.
Number 77, Raphael Leai, replaced by number 10, Damon Gray.
Damon Gray enters the fray for the final 15 or so minutes here at WIN Stadium. We'll get back underway. The Mariners set piece. Shikluna standing over the corner. Outswinging delivery towards the back stick. A massive body's rising and hooked clear. Rather comfortably in the end. We'll bring you those up, the rest of those updates as well. As we said, there was a red card for Mount Druitt at Popondetta Park, which allowed Rockdale to go ahead on the scoreboard. They went up 2-1 before Mount Druitt pulled one back in the 89th to equalise. But Danzo for Rockdale in the 94th won it. Speaking of looking to win it, the ball from Mascio Vecchio was just left a bit short of Scott. Here's Madden though. Again, the Mariners' defence remaining resolute enough. Sambrook just holding up play. It's really interesting to watch his patterns and his movement, Logan Sambrook. DeLima, Shikluna. Oof. Mascio Vecchio not holding back from the challenge. Good strength from DeLima. Fine support in the form of Mewett. Layoff here for Aok Mo in the wide channel. Finds some support in the form of his captain. Now it might just fall kindly here for Taylor. Bit of a head clash. Well, there's bodies flying everywhere. 2 Wolves players down as well. The game is rightly stopped, which gives us a chance to finish running through those updates. At Christie Park, it finished 2-0 in favour of Spirit FC, who retained their spots at the top of the pops over St George City. Elsewhere, about half an hour gone at the Palace. Still 0-0 between Marconi and St George. But down south, it took just 2 minutes for Sydney Olympic to go ahead over Sutherland. I say down south, but it's actually north of here. Teng Kuol giving Sydney Olympic the advantage after just 2 minutes there. And just as I say that, Marconi have just gone ahead at the Palace as well. Bring you news on that goal scorer as soon as we can. But our focus remains firmly here for the final 12 or so minutes at WIN Stadium. So finely poised here, just the 1 goal in it. Wollongong leading the Central Coast Mariners. Kanazumi forced back to Yates. Mo herring forward to apply the press. Yates able to sort his feet out. Oh, it's Gray in the wide area. Shikluna unable to effect the challenge. Wide it will go. Shoulder-to-shoulder contact from Lachlan Scott. The Mariners win the throw, though. Rising is Busnell, now Madden and Agnostopoulos. Sambrook emerges with it for the Mariners. DeLima operating on this near touchline. Looks to isolate Dylan Ryan. Slides one in behind for the underlapping Pecora. All too far ahead of Luca Pecora. And Lucas Valela might just take this opportunity to go to his bench for the final time tonight. It looks like it will be a double change. Well, hold the phone on that. Both Jesse Mantell and Angus Reid are being prepped. Well, Reid might just be putting his bib back on, actually. Yates sending it long once again. Rising was Pecora. Wollongong throw and a chance to just wind down a few more seconds. Thrown in towards Scott. Doesn't have the beating of Shikluna. And now Mo emerging centrally. Looks for the return pass. Here is Shikluna. Sambrook, who's drifted wide now. Slowly creeping inside. Now Taylor. Thought about the shot, but it just closed down around him very quickly. Sambrook. Shikluna reloading now. Smith. All the way across to Paragali. Thinks about the shots. Winds one up, and it falls very kindly here for a teammate. And Harper Riles, who draws a save out of Oliver Yates. Hasn't had a great amount of work to do, but he's been solid enough when called upon. The Mariners, of course, have had a couple of goals disallowed themselves, but it's the Wolves on the hunt, on the march, on the charge forward here through Scott. Bounces through a couple of challenges. Doesn't get through Shikluna, and a couple of little afters there as well. The Mariners just want to get on with it, though. Pecora centrally for Lawrence Taylor. Shikluna. Valela just urging the ball speed to increase. Get my words out eventually. Lawrence Taylor. Shikluna. Are we set up for a grandstand finish here at Wynn? Rocco Smith. Clipped towards the edge of the area. Riles, Taylor. Blocked off by Sim. Another corner for the Mariners, though. As the sun sets behind us here at Wynn. In this Battle of the Beaches. Nearly everyone forward for the Mariners. Only Luca Pecora back, and even he's halfway between the halfway line and the 18-yard box. Everyone back defending this one for the Wolves. Defending in packs. Swung in centrally. Over the head of everyone in the end. All the way out over the opposite touchline. Wolves survive another set piece. Time ticking on. Dylan Ryan also aware of it. Shoving the back there of Lachlan Scott from Lucas Shikluna. Gives the Wolves a chance to eke out a few more seconds. Warren Grieve will go to his bench again as well. Oh, my apologies. No, he won't. That's Rafael Leai, who's just made his way back around from the far touchline. Not quite showing the same level of speed that he did in the first stanza. Did get through a mountain of work, though, and he's an absolute live wire. DeLima. Speaking of live wires, that's a 50-50 challenge. Dylan Ryan, Mr. Loves a tackle. DeLima. Dylan Ryan not going to shirk away from that sort of challenge. Here's Pecora. Paragali. Again, the Mariners work it across the back, out to the left with Mewett, and now back across to the right with Smith. Flips forward, but nowhere near Sandbrook. It's easy for Kanazumi. Smith atones for that, though. Good-looking challenge to win it back for his side. Now DeLima trying to slide one in behind. Again in the half space, in the direction of Riles. Dylan Ryan emerges with it, though, for Wollongong. Now Skoss just keeps it moving. A little too over-eager, perhaps, and then takes away the legs of Shikluna, who rides one challenge and then is dragged back by Machio Vecchio, and there's no shortage of feeling in this one. Machio Vecchio had a good handful and a half of Lucas Shikluna's shirt, who perhaps just says to him, well, we've still got at least 5 minutes till full time. You wait till the full time whistle goes. Now both players are carded for their part in that. And Lucas Valela will take that opportunity to make those final two changes. Ben Mewett, as we said in the first half, who has got an absolute motor and a half on him and has got through a mountain of work, takes his leave, as does the goal scorer Ayok Mo. James Anagnostopoulos will also take his leave for the Wolves. Dax Kelly coming on for the Wolves. And for the Mariners to see out the final 5 or so minutes here at Wynn Stadium, Jesse Mantell will come on. That's a straight swap in place of Ayok Mo. Angus Reid is on in place of Ben Mewett, which may see a bit of a change in defensive shape for Lucas Valela's side. Shikluna hoisting one forward in the direction of Sandbrook. Again, Ryan was touch tight to him. Machio Vecchio unable to advance over halfway. Arthur DeLima tracked him all the way. Shikluna again with one of those trademark raking crossfield balls. It's all too far ahead of Pecora, though. Stretching to reach it. It just bounced over the leg of Luca Pecora. Warren Greaves still has Seb Duarte and Benji Assen available to him should he wish to go to the bench once more. It's the Mariners sailing forward, though. It's Shikluna from range. Didn't quite measure it. Just pulled it wide of Oliver Yates, right upright. He's more than capable from that sort of range, is Lucas Shikluna. He throws his head back, though, in frustration. 2 minutes of regulation time to go here at Wynn Stadium. We didn't have the flurry of goals that we saw in that 5 minutes of madness in the first half. In the second, no shortage of entertainment and intrigue and spectacle nonetheless, though. It's a shot from range, and Wachowski nearly spilled it. It was an awfully awkward height, and it was dipping as well. It's Damon Gray who released from about 30 yards. As we were just saying, it's been certainly a creditable performance from these young Mariners. Here's Sandbrook weaving his way through a couple of challenges, but then Darcy Madden stepping in. Machio Vecchio now tying himself up in knots, rather. Machio Vecchio, and Sandbrook able to find Shikluna. Couldn't quite stick the pass, though, for Riles. And now Damon Gray with a chance to get at the Mariners' defence here. One-on-one with Paragali. And it was a physical tussle, an absolute battle between those two. Paragali's nearly out on his feet. He's still able to win it back for the Coast. And here comes Arthur De Lima. One way and the other. De Lima. Not quite the sort of finishing that saw him net a hat-trick last time these two sides met. You could see his eyes light up from here when he thought he got half a chance there. The board being readied by the fourth official. The verdict on added time, 4 minutes. 4 minutes for Wollongong to hold on. 4 minutes for the Coast to try and snatch something out of this one at the death. Wachorski sends it forward. It's going to come straight back at them though. Scott. Clipped forward by Beattie. Again towards Scott. Sim couldn't quite reach it. Neither could Kelly. And then a real sort of no-nonsense clearance from halfway. Sends it forward. And for the Coast, well, there's never a ball boy around when you need one, is there? Eventually a ball is retrieved from the hillside around halfway. And Wachorski able to resume proceedings. Smith. Seemingly shifted to three at the back now, the Mariners. Reid and Smith and Paragali. It's Reid to launch this one forward. Sent clear up onto the hill as well. Ball pass straight back to Reid now. Driven into the area. Rising with Sandbrook. Brushes off the flowing blonde locks of Logan Sandbrook and behind for another Wollongong goal kick. Halfway through the allotted 4 minutes of added time here at Wynn Stadium. Yates, for the first time this afternoon, going short from the restart. It's not the moment I thought he might have picked to go short. It's worked out, though, as it falls very kindly here for Scott. Twisting, turning, finding a teammate in the form of Gray. Masciovecchio will just look to go to the corner here. And he's won a corner as well. Excellent work from Alex Masciovecchio, who's been so heavily involved throughout the course of the contest this evening. Involved at a couple of key flashpoints as well. A bit of a tangle with Lucas Shikluna, but of course he scored, crucially, the game's opening goal. And Wollongong, with a minute of added time to go, will be in no real sort of hurry to resume hostilities. Eventually they do. And Scott holds it in the corner momentarily. Ryan, and then, well, sent half a world away. That's out of the stadium, that clearance. Replacement ball is on hand quickly. Well, just as I say, there's never a ball boy around when you need one. Now we've got two balls on the pitch. Smith puts his foot through it. Good looking touch from Mantell. Now De Lima does well to keep it in the field of play. Does even better to find Sandbrook, who wants to isolate Ryan here. Cross near post. Had a goal. It's 2-2. I see it, but I don't believe it. It's Arthur De Lima. It's Arthur Delight for the Mariners. seconds remaining of added time. And the Coast have surely stolen a point here at Wynn Stadium. He was the man last time these two sides met. And he's done it again today. My. Football, hey? Sim hoists it forwards. And that will be that. Nearly the last touch of the game has secured the Mariners' first points of the season here in round 4. Wow, take a breath. Fascinating contest between these two sides, and in all fairness, a draw, a share of the spoils is a more than fair result. Wollongong maintain their undefeated start to the season. The Coast, they never give up, they never die. Alex Masciovecchio opened the scoring for the Wolves before Nick Olsen added a second. Ayok Mo scored his first goal in yellow and navy to pull one back. And just a moment ago, Arthur De Lima stealing the headlines in the 94th minute. A wonderful ball in from Logan Sandbrook to pick him out. And the header was pinpoint, it was precision, it was perfect. And it was just the tonic